I wonder what this is about. Wife realizes her husband is a wanted killer. Oh.
She literally attacked me from behind, or from behind side. I was facing the lake. I have a...
No. Oh, you have some on your stomach?
Yeah.
What is the address of the emergency?
Someone came up and just shot my assistant manager.
Where is the shooter?
I don't have enough information. He's gone. He left in his car. He literally left a second ago.
Police in Carrollton, Texas rushed to the workplace of 24-year-old Alyssa Burkett after a co-worker called 911. He had heard gunshots outside the building. An unknown attacker had been waiting. The moment Alyssa arrived, he came at her with a gun and a knife. Within seconds, the only sounds in the air were her screams, begging for help. By the time officers got there, it was too late. Alyssa was already dead. Her body lay near the entrance, stabbed more than 40 times with no sign of mercy. What the officers didn't know yet was that this would become one of the most disturbing and complicated cases they had ever faced. In the days ahead, detectives would uncover a tangled mess, a list of possible suspects, bitter family conflicts, a custody battle over a child, dangerous levels of jealousy, and eventually, after years of twists, a court verdict that no one saw coming. All of it building into one of the most twisted homicides the town had ever seen.
Police department search warrant. If you're in there, come out with your hands up.
I can't believe that my fiance would do something like that to a woman or to anybody.
I'm telling you, there's a side of him that you do not
know. Minutes later, several patrol units arrive at the scene. It's the parking lot of an apartment rental office on 1120 MacArthur Drive. Right by the entrance sits a gray Toyota Corolla. The driver's side window is shattered and bullet holes are clearly visible in the glass.
Any crime scene is going to be inside that tape?
It's inside that tape.
All right. Okay. I heard that pop. I turned around, I knew it was a gunshot.
She got shot in the car.
Okay.
You can see her handprints.
A few steps away, a knife sheath lies on the sidewalk, and just beyond that, the bloody, wounded body of Alyssa Burkett. She had been shot in the face and stabbed repeatedly with deep, violent cuts all over her body. Officers move quickly to secure the scene while paramedics fight desperately to save Alyssa's life. But the blood loss and the sheer number of wounds make it impossible. At exactly 9:12 a.m., Alyssa's death is confirmed. A medical team sets up a tent right there in the parking lot to begin their examination of the body. At the same time, a crime scene investigator makes a chilling discovery: a tracking device hidden under the victim's car.
She got shot in the car.
Okay.
You can see her handprints.
Don't touch anything, okay?
That device would later be sent to digital forensics for analysis. But before the results came back, detectives would turn to the victim's co-workers, eyewitnesses who had seen pieces of the attack, and begin to reconstruct exactly what happened that morning.
Like I say, the black bike.
Did you see him holding the knife?
Yeah, in the hand. Were you here when everything happened?
Yes, I was thinking my...
According to reports, Alyssa arrived at the parking lot at 8:52 a.m. She hadn't even gotten out of her car when a man stepped out of a black Ford SUV parked a few meters away. He calmly walked up and fired a bullet through the driver's side window. The sound of the gunshot echoed through the lot. Inside the building, Alyssa's co-workers jumped up from their desks in fear and rushed into nearby rooms to take cover. One of them was sitting right by the window at the moment of the attack.
We're just getting our day started.
Okay. Another witness said the attacker was a black man.
Like I say, the black bike.
It seems that after firing the shot, the killer turned back toward his own car as if he was about to escape. But in that moment, Alyssa, miraculously still alive, managed to get out of her car with great difficulty. She staggered toward the building entrance, pounding on the window and calling for help. When the attacker saw she was still alive, he came back. This time, armed with a knife, he rushed at her and stabbed her 44 times in different parts of her body, killing her. Then he got into his car and fled the scene. Unfortunately, there were no security cameras around the building, so we don't have any footage of the attacker. But now, let's step in as criminal profilers and examine the scene piece by piece to understand what happened. This murder wasn't random or accidental. The choice of location, timing, and method shows that the killer knew the victim beforehand. The motive wasn't financial or sexual. Everything points to extreme anger and a desire to control the victim. This suggests the killer had some kind of emotional, familial, or competitive relationship with Alyssa. The attacker was armed with two types of weapons: a firearm for the initial attack or to incapacitate, and a knife to finish the job. This shows the crime was premeditated. The GPS device found under the victim's car is one of the most important pieces of evidence, showing that Alyssa had been watched for a long time, not for theft, but for control. 44 stab wounds. That means the killer decided 43 times to strike again. What was going through his mind that he felt it wasn't enough and had to keep going, even though the victim had already been shot in the face?
She even said, I think he's the kind of person that's gonna try to kill me. And he did! And he did!
Alyssa Burkett was born on the last day of 1995 in a town near Dallas, Texas. After graduating high school, she went to college and studied history at a university in Southern California. When she was 22, she met a 33-year-old man from Northern California named Andrew Beard on Tinder. He was successful and wealthy, with a house that smelled of expensive wood and a private plane parked right outside. Their relationship started casually, some dates, some hangouts, nothing too serious, until one event changed Alyssa's life forever. Near the end of her relationship with Andrew, she found out she was pregnant. On July 23, 2019, Willow was born. By then, Alyssa and Andrew had already separated, but they decided to share custody of their daughter. Alyssa was the primary guardian, while Andrew spent a day or two a week with Willow. During this time, she started dating another young man named Ben. On the surface, things seemed relatively calm, but behind the scenes, there were custody disputes with Andrew and financial struggles that had thrown Alyssa's life into chaos. Later, when Andrew got engaged to a woman named Holly Elkins, the custody battles slowly cooled down. After about a year, Alyssa and Andrew finally reached an agreement over custody and child support for Willow. What's interesting is that, against all expectations, Alyssa and Holly actually got along well. In one message, Holly told Alyssa, "Look forward to having a healthy relationship with you and Ben." Alyssa replied, "I hope your influence helps, because I'd love nothing more than for us all to have a healthy relationship." But just a few months later, something strange happened. On August 6th, Holly called the police claiming that Teresa, Alyssa's mother, had attacked her. 2 officers were dispatched to the scene to investigate. Holly told them she was walking near the lake with Willow in her arms when suddenly Teresa came up from behind, grabbed the child, and started hitting and scratching her.
She literally attacked me from behind side. I was facing the lake.
Your hand?
I have a
No. Oh, you have some on your stomach?
Teresa, during her interview with police, completely denied the incident, and since there wasn't enough evidence, the case was closed. On the surface, everything seemed to return to normal, until a few weeks later, when Carrollton police received a phone call from a man named Frank. He was reporting something suspicious.
I saw what I thought looked like someone just selling some drugs out of their truck, and I could smell it and I could see it. And
Okay, what kind of vehicle is it?
it's a little Toyota Corolla. I have a license plate, if that helps.
Okay, great. What was your last name?
Morrow.
Several officers were immediately sent to Alyssa's workplace. In the trunk of her car, they found a large amount of cash, packages of drugs, and a gun with its serial number removed. Alyssa was shocked. She insisted that none of it was hers and that someone must have planted it to frame her. Given her background, no criminal record, no history of drug use, and no ties to crime, the police decided not to pursue the matter any further. Now, when we put all the pieces of this puzzle together, from the exhausting custody battle to the untraceable gun and the drugs that had been planted far too professionally for a single mother, and then add Alyssa's mother's words on the day of the murder that her daughter had warned her many times, "He's going to kill me one day," a clear pattern begins to emerge, and that pattern points directly to one man, Andrew Beard.
I knew that it was him when the drugs didn't work in the car for him to get the baby.
After that staged drug case, Alyssa was never the same. She kept saying that Andrew was following her. She told her friends over and over that when she walked down the street, she could feel someone watching her from behind. Once, she turned and saw Andrew in his car. Another time, she spotted him while standing in line at a gas station. And once more, when she was leaving a store. Alyssa was
What in the hell, bro? What? Bro, that's why you don't rush into things, bro.
So frightened that she often asked her friends to walk her to her front door, telling them to check behind and make sure no one was following. She begged them to lock the door right away. Around that time, she even started a GoFundMe campaign. In her post, she wrote, "At this point, I'm truly scared for my life and my daughter's life. Please help me with the legal costs for Willow's custody." That one sentence shows Alyssa wasn't just worried about a legal battle, she felt the shadow of a man who wanted to take her life.
Hi everyone, my name's Alyssa. Past year I have been going through a custody battle, a very ugly one. I have a 1-year-old child. It's taken a toll on my mental and physical health. With that being said, I've become a lot stronger in the process. And I guess just my message is, no matter what you're going through, stick it out, you can do it, and stay strong.
But even with all of this, there's still one question we don't have a clear answer for. If Andrew was the killer, then who was the black man that witnesses saw? Two possibilities.
He paid him to do it, you know what I'm saying? Most likely how he paid somebody to plant drugs in her car.
These are on the table. Either
And he's rich.
Andrew himself carried out the attack in disguise, using makeup or different clothing to hide his identity, or he hired someone else to do it. Maybe a friend, maybe a ruthless man desperate for money. Whatever the truth, finding this person would bring investigators one step closer to solving the mystery. With that, police obtained a warrant and headed to Andrew's home.
Carrollton Police Department, search warrant. If you're in there, come out with your hands up.
At the same time, a statewide alert went out for 2 vehicles, a white Ford F-150 registered to Andrew and a black SUV, the same one multiple witnesses reported seeing at the crime scene. A few hours later, Andrew's white truck was found. Police had pulled him over for a routine traffic violation. Officers ordered him out of the vehicle, and without any resistance, he was arrested on the spot. In the passenger seat was his fiancée, Holly Elkins, and in the back seat sat Willow, Alyssa's daughter, who by then had been placed in Andrew's full custody.
The daughter's in a car seat in the back seat. They've been pretty cooperative. My part was to just find you. That's all they asked me to do.
Since the initial evidence against Andrew wasn't strong enough to hold him in jail, he was released just a few hours later. But what Andrew didn't know was that police had already decided to dig deeper into his life. The first step, a search warrant for his truck and his home. The first thing officers found in Andrew's house was an envelope covered in messy handwriting. Inside were notes with Alyssa's workplace address, the make and color of her car, and even her daily schedule. Among those notes was the name Frank Marrow, the same man who had called police a month earlier to report the drugs and gun in Alyssa's car.
Okay, great. What was your last name?
Morrow.
On the table, investigators also discovered a special charger and a portable battery. The model and serial number matched exactly with the GPS tracker that had been hidden under Alyssa's car.
So we found this GPS tracker box.
At the same time, the full report on Andrew's car came in. Inside a backpack on the back seat, police found a pair of men's hiking boots, soaked in bleach and cut into pieces. It was clear someone had been trying to erase his tracks. Next to the boots were 2 bottles of professional makeup in dark brown shades, something that could make light skin look much darker. That's when the first theory was confirmed. The killer had tried to disguise himself using makeup and clothing to appear like a black man. Investigators also uncovered paperwork for a black Ford Expedition SUV registered in Andrew's name. GPS data showed that just half an hour after the murder, around 9:30 a.m., the vehicle was parked near an apartment building only a few blocks from Andrew's own home. Inside the SUV, officers found bloodstains on the seat and floor. DNA testing later confirmed it belonged to Alyssa. And finally, the last piece of the puzzle. Right by the car door, police discovered a fake beard, the exact same kind Alyssa's co-worker had described the attacker wearing during the assault. With all this evidence, there was no doubt left. Andrew Beard was arrested once again, this time charged with first-degree murder, and taken to the Dallas Police Department jail.
Beard's bond is set at $1 million. He is currently in the Dallas County Jail charged with murder, and police say it's very clear this killing was not random, it was planned, and it was personal.
A few days later, Holly voluntarily went to the police to talk about the events that had happened. This is where the story enters a whole new phase. There was even a possibility that she herself could have been the next victim.
So I just told all my friends and family that I'm engaged to the most wonderful man on the planet.
Yeah.
And now people want me to believe that he's not that.
And there are so many emotional roadblocks for you to try to believe that. I get that.
I can't believe that my fiance would do something like that to a woman or to anybody, but a woman.
I'm being real. I don't want to say it, but if I'm being honest, bro, in some cases, it be the girls feeding those ideas. But I in some cases though, like, I just find it very hard to believe you had absolutely nothing to do with that. That's just me. But it's possible though. It's possible. But I don't know.
And she was lucky to still be alive. But none of that seemed to matter. Holly kept insisting that Andrew had been at the house during the incident. She said the accusations were unbelievable and that the evidence couldn't convince her otherwise.
Telling you there's a side of him that you do not know. There are a few hours that you know he was not in that house.
You cannot tell me that I feel that way, sir.
I can tell you that because I know that for a fact that he was out of the house, Holly.
I don't know that for a fact. I am a total stage 5 clinger girlfriend. I'm always up his ass. I find it hard to believe.
The interview ended without any concrete results, and Holly left the police station. 2 weeks into Andrew's detention, something unexpected happened.
A Rowlett man accused of shooting, then stabbing to death the mother of his child is free on bond this afternoon. And the victim's family believes he is a threat to public safety.
On October 21st, 2020, Andrew Beard's $1 million bond was paid. And despite all the evidence against him, he was released from jail. Alyssa's family was shocked when they heard the news, not just because Andrew was free, but because they felt they were now in danger. They worried he might try to hurt them, or worse, take the opportunity to escape and never show up in court. At this stage, the case moved to the federal level and the FBI got involved. 8 days later, Andrew was arrested again, this time for a different reason, possessing an illegal silencer. ATF agents searched his home and found a silencer with no serial number or permit in his closet. Under federal law, possessing such a device is a serious crime. Andrew went back to jail and this time stayed for a full 18 months.
A Rowlett man accused of murdering the mother of his child has been arrested.
He was about to off all of them, bro. Nah, like, bro, it shouldn't have been a bond. This is why I be thinking, bro, some people who rich, they just got connects. Like, they don't gotta sit in jail if they don't have to. Like, there's people who did way less, bro, and got way more punishment. This dude just killed somebody in cold blood. If you ask me, bro, like, that's damn near a death sentence. It's first degree murder. You stalking her, you shoot her in the head once, and you go back and you stab her 44 times, and you plan all of this. This is all premeditated. You following her, bro. Nah, bro. Like, that, I don't know. It just shows how lopsided stuff is, though. Like, really
Many people could not believe that Andrew Beard was out of jail after posting a $1 million bond. Now the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Northern District of Texas has found a way to charge him federally, and he is right back behind bars.
By law, the case should have moved to trial next, with the jury deciding the final verdict. But criminal cases don't always follow the rules, especially when a key player goes missing.
She'd already ordered her Uber and never came back.
After Andrew's arrest, Holly disappeared. Without saying a word or even saying goodbye to her fiancé, she returned to Michigan and cut off all contact. She rented a new apartment, bought a luxury car, and started a new relationship with another man. But the turning point came exactly when everyone thought the story was over. On June 15, 2022, Andrew decided to speak, but not out of remorse or a guilty conscience. He had no choice. He wanted to cooperate and give information, hoping to get a reduction in his sentence.
If you were to ask me whose idea was what, drugs and the planning of drugs was Elkin's, it was made very clear to me.
What did I say? What did I say, bro? Like, I am so smart, man. it's never just that black and white, bro. You really thought she was just innocent in all of this? Like, come on, bro. The mom just fought you. You got some vendetta against her too. I would. Who knows, bro? I wouldn't be surprised, bro. She get dark. She could have implied indirectly maybe she just killed her. I wouldn't be surprised. I would not be surprised.
That your previous methods aren't working. This is what you're going to do now in order to prove that that you're worthy.
Andrew claimed that Holly was not who she appeared to be. From the very beginning, he said she didn't like Alyssa and wanted to be the only player on the stage of Alyssa and Willow's life. And to reach that position, she had to eliminate her rival. According to Andrew, all the schemes came from Holly's mind. Planting the drugs and gun, staging the attack by Alyssa's mother, and even...
No, I will say that I feel like the little things, like the weed, the fighting with the mom, I feel like those were for sure her, or she had some influence on that. But I feel like she probably indirectly said something and it gave him an idea to off her. But I feel like him killing her was on him. But this stuff, I feel like this is on her. I'm just being real, bro. I'm just being honest.
Hiring a private investigator to secretly gather information on Alyssa. But when all of that failed, she entered a new game. A game where she wasn't just controlling anymore, she became a direct threat.
Like, I was emotionally drained, and at that point, I just basically said, okay, and became submissive to whatever she wanted me to do. That's the task I did. It was, you're going to dress up as a different person, essentially. You're going to wear this dark makeup. That was her plan. That was how it's going to be done. It does look planned out because it was. The process was planned out.
It seemed that the murder plan was a test of Andrew's manhood, and he may have truly believed he had to succeed. Holly had planned everything for 2 weeks before the murder. How Andrew should disguise himself to make his face look darker, what time to be at the scene, what to wear, and where to escape afterward. She had even prepared a few messages to boost Andrew's confidence while...
Did I not say this though? Bro, this is sick. I literally called this. Let's see what it says. I'm not coming home to bullshit. I hope you handle it. It will be a whole different conversation if I feel like you ride or die. If not, then I don't know. I don't want anyone who is a pussy to some lowlife or a pushover. Wow. What? It was her the whole time? I'm telling you, dog. What is so crazy? I called this. I literally called this, bro.
Carrying out the plan.
Wow.
Usually we look for the killer, but sometimes we have to look for the person who created the killer. In this case, Holly didn't pull the trigger and the knife was never in her hands. But if she hadn't existed, this crime probably never would have happened. In mid-July 2023, Holly Elkins was arrested at Miami.
She looked like a worm. You know what I'm saying? One of those worms from Shark Tales. Let me look it up real quick. I only get mean with people who deserve it. Worm from Shark Tales. She looked just like it, bro. Like, please. Wait, hold up. Where is it? Yo! Yo, she look just like this nigga, dude. Nah, bro. Nah, that's hilarious. She looked just like
Miami Airport just after returning from her vacation in the Dominican Republic on charges of conspiracy to commit murder. At the trial on April 10th, 2024, the prosecutor opened with a striking line. Andrew Beard is a monster, but he's Holly Elkins' monster. Messages exchanged between the couple proved their relationship had always been toxic and controlling. Just 2 months after meeting, Holly had already sent Andrew a message. Your baby mama owns you. You continue to put BM first. I don't want or need any bullshit from anyone. Police reports show that from that moment, Holly began investigating trackers, surveillance tools, and ways to control positions. By September 2020, everything was part of her detailed plan. On September 13th, Holly and Andrew bought that black Ford together. The next day, Holly purchased the dark brown makeup for disguise. On September 19th, the pair went to a store and bought the same model of bullets and knife that would later be found at the crime scene. Why did she do all this? The prosecutor argued that it all stemmed from Holly's obsession with gaining control over Willow. But if you look deeper, the child was more than just a custody battle. Willow was a symbol. To Holly, Willow wasn't just a child. She was a flag at the peak of a mountain she didn't want anyone else to climb.
Happy Mother's Day. What is that?
That was, I think, one of my favorite things that we did. It was always me and her, my best friend. Like, that was my person.
I want Mama.
Here we go. So you telling me if he didn't rat, he would still be free? 2 life sentences. If you ask me, bro. This is good though. But comment down below, if he never ratted, he would be free? He would have only got 18 months if he didn't say anything? Wow, bro. Look at her eyes. The eyes, I gotta yad it on me. Gang, real eyes, real eyes, real eyes. You know what I'm saying? Pitch black, bro. No soul. Crazy, but that's about it.